Hi, we're Two Word Sons. Come see us. We're playing soon at a place near you.
It's nice have somewhere to go whenever you're lonely, feel alone. It's nice to have someone like you really love me like I love you. You help me find myself when I knew of no one else. Say, hey, Mr. Sunshine, I like living just fine. It's nice being happy again, free to live life with my friends. It's nice having nothing to do, no more rushing to keep up with you. You help me find myself when I knew of no one else. Say, hey, Mr. Sunshine, I like living just fine.
Hey, greetings Athens. My name is Jason Elder. I play many instruments in this privileged band to be a part of Trueborn Sons.
Hi, I'm Brent Davenport. I play mandolin in Trueborn Sons.
And I'm Liam Park. They let me write the songs.
Jason, when we started our band, Jason was the keyboard player primarily. Plays everything else with the band, which we,
I played bass when we started. Right?
know, Evan.
When he started,
Yeah,
he was on
that's right.
bass. I was
you
on
were,
mandolin.
you were on bass with Repentant Leisure.
Okay.
No, but he was on Trueborn Sons because I was on mandolin. He played bass. Then we had to switch
Yeah,
it
we
up.
kind of we've
We've gone through many
Yeah.
iterations.
they won't let me play the banjo anymore.
And we should also say, unless
Under
you've already,
penalty of death.
oh yeah,
That should be known.
we've also got we've also got another
Thanks.
full-time member. We've had a few people come in and out. We have another full-time member named Anna who plays the accordion, and she's
Who could not be here today.
Right.
yeah
She's here.
Well, she's
with
been
us
with the
in
band
spirit.
3.5 years, so she's been around a long time.
yeah.
Who are you? How'd you get here?
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, I'm Anna.
And she makes it, having that accordion in there, it fills it out. It sounds great. So
But
she'll be back though.
But the band is constantly morphing because we've got ideas. We want a root sound, which is what we have here with just the three of us. But we can layer that much more, and we feel just a different version of the music. And maybe, again, we're trying to find that right combination and the mix to reach a larger audience.
I approach our arranging and the process of developing the song from a compositional point of view, because that's what I primarily consider myself in terms of the direction of music creation. I do write songs in the singer-songwriter genre, and that is an entirely different realm. There's a whole lot of stuff that can be created from a very simple structure. And obviously, as Bryn said, with our missing accordionist, that adds so much more. I've always approached it from the standpoint, though, of it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. So no matter how harmonically complex songs might become, if you can't make someone dance, go back to the drawing board. So being able to combine that
Or
with
cry.
that too, which is which is very easy for your songs.
We hurt their ears.
Not in that way.
There's nothing I would do just to be with you. There's nothing I would say just to spend all day with you, every day with you, every day with you. There's nothing I would do just to be with you. There's nothing I would say just to spend all day with you, all the day with you.
This is just so much fun. That's why we do it. It's so much fun. And we think
Yeah.
we've got some pretty good music that will gather a larger audience than we presently have. We've got a decent, 300 friends on Facebook. That's not bad, But we expect to have a much wider audience.
Well, here, okay, I will. When it comes to being in a band, I think this happens with a lot of bands, and when you first meet people and get together to play music, you're very polite. And I think if you keep playing together, you get to a point where you drop that. And the sooner you do that, the better. If you're in a band, stop being nice. Go ahead and bitch at each other.
Is that why you thought I was an asshole?
Go ahead, you are. So, I mean, I felt like it was like that here, and it's been like that in other bands. Progress is slow until you get to that point. Until you start really, you don't have to get mad at each other. It's not like but call each other out and say, hey, you screwed up here. Let's do it again. Let's do the work, because yes, it's fun. It's fun in the end when you get to go do this on stage. But in the meantime, coming to practice, it's work. It's hard work. Music is hard, and you have to do it again and again and again and again. And I think as a band, when you get to that point where you can be real with each other and argue and hash it out, it's when you really start getting good.
Well, it's like family. It's like family, and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Try just being honest. Just being honest about your feelings, and we're all trying to get better. We all want to be better, and that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Every song.
Tell me you want me, wanna be my wife. Tell me you need me, and always be my friend. Tell me you'll stay with me, our love will never end. to know it's true. Love never ends.
Just do-
What do you want, Liam,
From what?
from your music?
I don't know. I think I've raised my expectations recently, and I have not tried to promote my music at all in terms of, even just going to Nashville and cornering a couple people and say, hey, just listen to some of the stuff I got here. I view my role as the manager. I've always been the manager, head coach, this kind of crap. And that doesn't mean you're the boss. It just means you're the person who's, helping direct the overall path of where we're going. Okay, and to realize talent when you see it, and to listen to that talent, and to work so that we all want to get to the same place. We all want to get to the point where wow, that was great. Boom. Not perfection, but as good as it's fun.
Yeah, definitely swinging on the. You can get that. That feel. That gives that bounce.
Ready?
And the punk accordion. Yeah.
So pretty, it's so pity you don't live in my city. If you did, you'd surely be my girl. Oh yeah. So pretty, doggone pretty. We don't live in the same city. If we did, I'd be chasing you. I was hungry stars and wish that I could go and wonder where you are. I was slipping along and chasing fireflies and all along singing my song. So pretty, it's so pretty. We don't live in my city. 'Cause if we did, you'd surely be my girl. Oh yeah. So pretty, doggone pretty. We don't live in the same city. 'Cause if we did, I'd be chasing you. I'd be sitting at the sun and chasing rainbows and looking for you everywhere. I'd be skipping stones and walking alone and all along singing my song. So pretty, it's so pretty. We don't live in my city. 'Cause if we did, you'd surely be my girl. Oh yeah. So pretty, doggone pretty. We don't live in the same city. 'Cause if we did, I'd be chasing you. I've been holding my breath just to look at you and keeping my heart in my chest. I'd be talking along in love with you and all along singing my song. So pretty, it's so pretty. We don't live in my city. 'Cause if we did, surely be my girl. Oh yeah. So pretty, doggone pretty. We don't live in the same city. 'Cause if we did, I'd be chasing. 'Cause if we did, I'd be chasing. 'Cause if we did, I'd be chasing you.
All right.
okay. That was better.
It is kind of weird coming back out of the solo right there, and
It is
I
weird.
kind of almost messed it up too, but it'll sound right
I'm starting to
as soon as we get it.
I need to change things. Like I said, the other amp or the other bass.
As we can get. And we're getting there. This band has really made tremendous strides in just the last few months of what we're planning on doing. You know, make a long story short, I'm having the time of my life, and it recharges me all the time, every day. Every day I get up, I can't wait to play some more music.
Sings. Ditto.
Probably about right there.
Why does a woman love a man better than the one she's got at home? Why does a man love another woman when he's alone? Don't ask no questions, ain't got no answers. There ain't nobody to blame. We're just people going through life together, playing the crazy game. Why does a woman still give you a heartache after years of telling lies? Why does a man cheat on his woman, no matter how hard she tries? Don't ask no questions, ain't got no answers. There ain't nobody to blame. We're just people going through life together, playing the crazy game.
It's
Okay, never mind.
behind Liam's.
Y'all want
We
to-
aren't promised tomorrow.
Okay.
Here we go.
I mean, that's a good question, but I don't think songs ever really go anywhere to reveal it. It just gives you more questions to think about, and then more possible answers follow, and the cycle repeats. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, but man, talk about a wonderful obsession, right?
You have a dog
Yeah, I do.
who loves you more than any woman could ever love you. Right? It's true.
Maybe.
Your dog doesn't bite you, does he?
Of course
He's
not.
never bit you.
Of course not.
God.
That's just one type of love.
Well, he thinks it's everything.
Yeah, true.
He thinks it's all there is.
True. But yeah, we
Is that all there is? We do a song called We Aren't Promised Tomorrow.
Listen.
Living with the demons that once indulged your mind. Fighting for sanity when you wanted someone kind. Struggling every day just to stay alive. Thinking about tomorrow, hoping to survive. And never throw away a chance to say I love you. No one has a lease on life if we all promise tomorrow. Live every day as if it were your last. Never throw away a chance to say I love you. Love you. And never throw away a chance to say I love you. No one has a lease on life and we aren't promised tomorrow. Live every day as if it were your last. Never throw away a chance to say I love you, 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 I love you.
I wrote this song in about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and it was originally called Never Throw Away a Chance to Say I Love You. And I thought, well, that's kind of too long a title, Never Throw Away. But I could remember the song easily with that title. But then I said, well, that shouldn't be the reason for keeping the title. It needs to have a better title. So then I thought, well, we aren't promised tomorrow. That sort of sums up the whole song. So this was again written, and I don't write most of my songs specifically for any person or any experience or anything that's happened in my life. But this song in particular was written just because of my daughter, just because of the problems she'd had for so many years, 10 years or more, and that I wanted to say something that she would feel good about, and people that know us would feel comfort in this song. Okay, and again, this was something that it just happened in a matter of minutes. And to be honest, she's never been to any performance of the song. She never heard of it. I mean, I told her about it, but she never heard it. And recently, my brother-in-law, who's a well-known poet, I copied on an email to his wife, my sister, because Valentine's Day was coming, and so I wanted my daughter to hear the song, and including the words and lyrics of the song. I wanted her to have that as a Valentine's present. And this was just a couple days ago. And my brother-in-law forwarded it to a person who's apparently the music critic for the Washington Post, and he liked the song. So it cracked the door open for us, which is by way of explaining the story. You just never know when maybe an opportunity may come for us to reach a wider audience. But the song was something that I don't know if I'd have chosen that song to send to him if I knew he was going to listen to it. I don't know if it's one of my better songs or not. I kind of like all my songs, and I kind of don't identify them as that I like this one more than the other. It's like kids in your family. It's like I like them all, and I think my band likes them all. But anyway, it's called Never Throw Away a Chance to Say I Love You, changed to We Aren't Promised Tomorrow. And that's the song that at the moment just is registering with me, that I'm so happy I was able to write this song, and my daughter got to hear it.
How do you remember songs?
And I got a cell phone that I take out immediately and record it as soon as I get an idea. Prior to that, back in the 60s and 70s, I carried 3x5 cards and index cards, and I would, every single idea I had for a hook, song hook, I'd write on there, file it away. Sometimes I'd write a verse or chorus or something in addition to the hook and just file it away. And then someday going through them, you go through the different songs you've written and pull it out and say, well, you know, I got a feeling I can write a song out of that one right now. Yesterday I probably couldn't do that. Tomorrow probably I couldn't do that either. But today I kind of think I got an idea to make that work. And then you start working on, you know, basically the melody, chorus. For me, the melody, the choruses in particular, and come up with something that sounds good, you know. Living with the demons that once took over your mind, fighting for sanity when you wanted someone kind, struggling every day just to be alive, fretting for tomorrow, hoping to survive. Never throw away a chance to say I love you. No one has a lease on life, and we aren't promised tomorrow. Live every day as if it were your last. Never throw away a chance to say I love you. And I was with a little company in Detroit, Michigan. Even though I'm Canadian, across the river. The company was called Solid Hitbound Productions. They were owned by Joe Bett Music Company, which was 100% owned by Motown Records in Hitsville, USA. And my uncle was Frankie K, big band orchestra, and he got in touch with somebody and said, "Hey, my nephew's a pretty good songwriter. Give him a chance. Let him, show you some of his songs." And I did that. So I ended up helping as a bullpen member to start the songwriting process. Never really completing a total song that I brought to them, but being part of the songwriting process for ideas, if you will. And they got us on the cheap. I got like $25 a week or something to do that, So, and sometimes you'd make more than that if you had something they really liked. Okay, where, they'd say, "Well, who worked on this?" And you raise your hand and say, "Yeah, 3 or 4 of you guys. Okay, here's $100 to divide it among the 3 of you guys, or the 2 of you guys, or this kind of stuff." But yeah, I did that till I was about 22, and then I got married in my 20s, and my dad said, "You need to get a real job, Billy." And so that Billy's nickname for Liam. And so I got a real job and went back to school and did all other stuff. Third generation accountant, became a financial advisor, among the first in the country to be a certified financial planner and a chartered financial consultant. Did that for a while. Honest to God, this is true. When I grow up, I want to be a stand-up comedian. And I'm in no hurry to grow up, but I'm thinking about that. I've got a routine. I did a little stand-up a long time ago when Steve Martin was playing his banjo, and that's what I wanted to be, a banjo player who could tell jokes and stories like Steve Martin did in the 60s and 70s. But that's on my bucket list. I'm going to get up here in the next year or so and do stand-up at one of the comedy clubs around here.
What about It's Not Too Late? How about It's Not Too Late?
Waters of Life.
Okay.
Waters of Life.
The
All right,
hardest
so that's
ones
something
first.
completely different.
This shows my versatility. This is a
And our love of
slap
whiskey.
dad Irish song our love of whiskey. And The Waters of Life is the name of the song. The Irish word for whiskey is Ishkabaha. And this actually literally means the waters of life. So when you ask for a whiskey in Ireland, it's Ishkabaha, and it means the waters of life, and that's the name of it.
But see, in Scotland, it's Uskaba. So there's a slight different variation in translation.
Where I'm from, it's moonshine.
Yeah, but where you're from...
Where you're from is past the booze.
Yeah, see, we're just a good old drinking Irish band at heart, apparently. With the tender side.
It's hard to shed that, because I'm so damn Irish. But the music is all different kinds, and we got stuff that's sweet and nice, and we got stuff that's rough and hard.
That's right. Like all good humans should have.
We even have Zydeco. Get ready? Here's the waters of life. Remember the first time I tasted your pleasure. It sickened me so, I never took much measure. And being a lad, seeking adventure, the waters of life are my utmost treasure. The waters of life, giveth and it takes. It brings a man much pleasure and causes much aches. And it soothes the soul and eases heartaches. The waters of life, that's all it takes. Well, I got many a friend I call me pal. Not a single girl I call me Cal. So whenever your pals can't be your friends, it's the waters of life you can depend. The waters of life, give it and it takes. It brings a man much pleasure and causes much aches. And it soothes the soul and eases heartaches. The waters of life, that's all it takes.
What motivates Liam Park?
I mean, being truthful. All somebody has to say is, you can't do that. What do you mean you're thinking that you're thinking of making a movie? Well, you're not in Hollywood. You're in North Carolina. Or you're thinking of starting a band, or you're thinking of playing music. You're going to write some of your own songs. You can't do that. You're too old, or you're too whatever. Why do you think you can do this?
Whoever put the stuff on.
And my father, when I was very, very young, my dad told me, Billy, you always have these great ideas and you always start things. And I was so proud of you, but you never finish a damn single thing. And I was like 14, 15 years old. And so from then on, for the rest of my life, I finish everything that I started. I was raised to think there were no limits. Whatever I wanted to do, I've had friends tell me, and some people I respect as much as anybody in the world, other than my family, my parents. I mean, my proudest job is being a dad. I've got 3 children. That's the proudest thing I've ever done to me, just being their dad. I have 2 daughters and a son. But you know, you work. My parents kind of knew how to motivate me. And one of the ways was to say, well, what do you mean you're thinking of doing this or that? My dad died in 1996. He's never seen a lot of the stuff I've done.
I mean, I've got a lot of experience.
He didn't see me run a baseball team. He passed away. He didn't see me having players drafted by Major League Baseball that I picked out of nowhere to play with us, to be the talent level that they had. Sometimes they didn't even know they had that talent level. Same thing with film. You know, nobody would hire me as a director or a writer, so I had to write my own stuff and do your own thing. I had no background, no track record at all, so you had to create that yourself. A lot of movies now are made by first-time directors who are good writers, write good scripts. That's how they got their job. That's how they became successful.
That's what happened when the arrangement is not set in stone. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was walking down a lane and thinking of you again, and remembering the way it used to be. I was on springy days, we enjoyed the summer haze, and never had the place we had to be. And never in a hurry to get nowhere, and cared about the style of your hair. And never thought about planning for tomorrow, and living for today. I only care. I was thinking about you when I was walking down the lane, and wondering how things have changed so much. Our marriage and a mortgage in the family, you change things so much you're out of touch. We're always in a hurry to get somewhere. We cared about how we got there, and cared not about anything but tomorrow, and living for the future only cares. Situation as I lie in bed, and staring at that empty pillow beside. And when did we go wrong as I stroked my head and felt the emptiness inside? And never in my life have I felt so alone, consumed by the feeling of regret. I wish we could go back and start over tomorrow, and maybe it's not too late yet. Situation as I lie in bed and staring at that empty pillow beside. And where did we go wrong as I stroked my head and felt the emptiness inside? And never in my life have I felt so alone, consumed by the feelings of regret. I wish we could go
go back and start over tomorrow, and maybe it's not too late. Yeah. Cool.
Was something going out sometimes over here?
I didn't hear it.
That
Was I ever going out? Was I don't know. Seemed like
Humans, anybody can dance.
the potential should be there. I approach it from the standpoint of if you want to sit down and listen, so that the lyrical content makes you think, so that the music takes you away someplace, that's present. But if you also feel like letting all that go and just wanting to get up and move your body, that is also present.
yeah, and most of the time you're playing in a bar or somewhere. Most people, you want to make. There may be some people who are sitting there and really pay attention to lyrics and all that, but most people are there to have a good time,
Right.
and all that. So,
Well, that's one
That's
thing we
why
got
I
going
say
against
make 'em-
us.
make 'em dance.
People want to sing familiar songs. They want to get up and dance to familiar songs. That's why cover bands are so popular.
well,
But, that's not what we're trying to do.
Not everybody wants to study Keats and listen to Shakespeare and have to rack their brains over the possible meanings a la Dylan.
right.
But we know we're doing good when people get up and dance.
Yeah, most people are dumb, like me. And so I've told Jason before that he's like the musically educated one.
Like.
He is the musically educated.
We defer to him on some things.
Yeah, and when you ask how these things come out, it's like with this mandolin, I kind of, as far as mandolin goes, I have a bluegrass background, and it's kind of, there's a structure there. I just try to make it tight as can be, and if I have anything, it's rhythm, I think. But Jason will be usually the one to point out like some kind of nuance that needs to happen at this point. So I should break from that tight rhythm and do this thing, and I'll try it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That sounds good. And I think he's the one that sees that stuff, more than I do anyway.
Which comes from the compositional side, the training, and my own love of classical music, and starting with the masters. But from there, I went through the sludge pit of jazz, rock, blues, and everything modern. So it's part of my DNA, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I've been always seeking to combine and unify these disparate realms, and hopefully produce something of modern, lasting value, which simultaneously redirects people back to the values that used to be present, while also sending us forward into the unknown.
But yeah, I've done a lot of different things. Movie business. Ran a baseball team for 20 years in town. Athens Pirates.
What was that like?
That was a blast. I got to put on the uniform every game. 40 game season, 40 to 50 games a year in the summer, all of June, all of July. Travel from Virginia to Florida, playing other teams. I've got players still in the major leagues that are playing Major League Baseball. But yeah, I was the head coach of the team with this, even. Pop it under my hat. Had a couple of very talented people with me. Eventually I gave up the coaching after about 12 years and brought in a guy who really was had the experience to really run the team. He was a former Major League Baseball player. And see, but all the teams we played against were coached by former Major League Baseball players. And so here's me. I played a little bit. I had a little bit of minor league baseball where I was a glorified batting practice pitcher because I could throw with both hands. So they didn't have to hire two people. They could get me as one person to throw left-handed and right-handed with the same guy. And but baseball was one of my first loves, along with music. Yeah. I still do some scouting.
For what teams?
Detroit Tigers are my team. Detroit Tigers. Always Detroit Tigers. I know quite a few other scouts, and you just steer them in the direction of somebody you think has got talent. I don't do any evaluations anymore and stuff like that. Don't have time, but I still love going to games, and I treat it like I'm there working out, writing down stuff all the time and keeping a score sheet and all this stuff. I love doing that. Well, as the manager and general manager running a team of 25 to 30 college all-star baseball players, most of whom were drafted by Major League Baseball, there were very high expectations that as the coach you knew what you were doing. So, and even though every manager I coached against as the head coach was a former Major League Baseball player, I won about 70% of our games, which is a pretty high percentage for baseball. You know, writing a screenplay takes 6 months out of your life to sit down and put yourself back in the time frame of whatever the setting is of the movie or the screenplay, and spend minimum 3 months, usually 6 months, just getting it into multiple draft status, so you've got something you can sell. And you talk about removing yourself from reality. I mean, you live those characters. You've created all of them. They are all your best friends now. You know everything about them. You know what they did before the movie starts. You know what they do after the movie ends. You know all about these characters, so you can write a decent story and something believable that people will believe. But that's the hardest job I've ever done, writing screenplays. I can write a song in 5 minutes sometimes, and it's like, wow. Immediate gratification. You write a screenplay, you may never get much you get paid, but what kind of gratification do you get? Not much. So what I have done, and this I think I've only told a couple people this. I'm writing my first play. Okay, I write screenplays, but not plays. Writing my first screenplay or my first play for one reason, and that's because playwrights get respect. Actors never change the lines that playwrights write for them. Actors constantly change the lines for movie scripts because they know better. They know the character better than I know it. They know the lines better. And that may be true in many circumstances. And I can live with that. But I can't wait to mount a play that they're going to read my exact words line for line, and I'm going to get respect. I won't get paid any money, but I'll get respect. I've been an adjunct professor in finance, in insurance, financial planning, screenplay development, journalism, marketing, screenplays, production, all that. I've done a little bit. I've never been on full-time faculty. I moved here with an ex-wife, and she left, and but we just didn't. I just never had any desire to be full-time faculty, but I could be, I guess. But I have had adjunct appointments, but you know that just basically gets me an ID card, and I can use the university facilities. I can park in places where other people can't park, and I can go to the football games and park in those places. You know.
I guess I would have to say guitar because it goes back the furthest. After I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different instruments over the years, nowadays I would say I play guitar, bass, mandolin, and drums, and I can hold my own and jam with people on those four. Other things like piano I've dabbled in, but you know I'm not much of not like Jason.
They are
He's
both
the
very
pianist.
talented musicians.
Well, that's what I look for. I look for somebody that has songs written and ready to go because I'm not much of a writer. I think I need somebody else to write their words but I don't know. I just listen and kind of we collaborate, and I know how songs go. I've listened to a lot of music and where things should be, and after you do it for a while, I find that certain nuances come out that you didn't really plan on.
Nuances?
Kind of, yeah, nuances.
Well, I think you feel like you're part of the whole creative process with how we work together, because we take something as raw as a song I just played for you earlier, like Be Kind, Be Nice. We've never worked on that song. We've never even tried to play that song. Same thing with Remember Me. We've never done that. We've never played that at all. But when I bring it out there, I'll do the same thing. I'll play it the first time, and then we'll start working on it.
Yeah.
And they have as much input as I do to how the song develops.
You say that a lot about piano and the right and left brain and using the two hands and elaborate.
Five
Yeah.
fingers on each, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elaborate?
Yeah, you elaborate. You go.
Well-
Say something smart, Jason.
he plays so many instruments that I mean, where do you start?
Yeah, you see all these? He plays them all.
Well, I would come not from the standpoint of music or instrumentation, but from philosophy and education. Music was always considered going back to the classical ancient world, before it became the art that we know it as, a means of developing consciousness in the human soul. It was a way to grow the right type of people. Thus, if you listen to the right type of music, you'll become the right type of person. If you listen to the wrong type of music, you will become the wrong type of person.
It's true.
So, the 5 major instrument families all have a role in being able to affect certain transformations of consciousness that no other phenomenon in human culture can do. Music is the only art that activates the entirety of the human brain. Wind instruments require you to think primarily from your breath, which is your column of air, the connection between top to bottom. Whereas stringed instruments require more of a tactile touch. Percussion, full body. All these different quantifiable locations of a person winds up being broken down and then eventuates in certain personality types. That's why guitarists are all usually a certain type, and trombone players have a certain personality, just like if you're an artist or a race car mechanic.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, it affects you in different ways. So
Interesting.
if you wind up bridging all these different families, you wind up with the possibility of unifying a type of consciousness which transcends all of them together.
His name to the shore, to travel across the ocean deep and never to return no more. He went to me, mother, on the trip and courted her every day. She finally had to acquiesce, and I was conceived on the way. I am a true son of Ireland, and we're proud and free. And someday soon I'll return to you, my home, the little country. We made our new home in Canada,